Without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
This is Citi TV. Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom. I'm Frema Edunyame. Coming up. Another body found in a shallow grave in a school in Wa after 13 similar incidents were recorded last year.
Man was passing by and he saw the bone and he asked the student, where did you find the bone? He said that he found it inside the bush. So, and they went inside to check, and it was a dead human being there.
Secretary to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral, Reverend Victor Kusibwatin, described allegations made against him by the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, as malicious. Also in the bulletin, Tamale Circuit Court grants bail to 8 persons arrested on Monday in connection with disturbances that led to the burning and pulling down of houses belonging to some non-indigents in Buipe.
We have asked all the youth members to exercise patience so that we'll see how we can bring back the 8 people they arrested.
And later, some continuing students of the University of Ghana who have been affected by the new accommodation directive stranded as they seek shelter.
I came here in the morning around 9:15 in the name of getting my place to sleep, and as it stands now, I'm not still being allowed into the hall, so you can see my luggage is around me. I'm outside still waiting for anything to happen.
Now in our first story, the St. Aidan Anglican Basic School in Wa in the Upper West Regional Capital was on Tuesday afternoon thrown into fear and panic after pupils of the school found an unidentified body in a shallow grave near the school's park. The incident is the first since the beginning of this year, after 12 similar cases were recorded last year in the Wa town. Citi News' Latif Mahama has more in this report.
It was a sight to behold as teachers and pupils of the St. Aidan Anglican Basic School watched in fear and disbelief as the police tried to exhume the remains of a yet-to-be-identified body near the school's park. Citi News sources at the school indicate that some pupils ran into a shallow grave which has bones protruding from it. Within minutes, the school became a point of attraction as scores of students traveled from far and near to catch a glimpse of what appears to be yet another gruesome murder in the Wa town. Unlike similar incidents that engulfed the Wa town last year, Tuesday's body had decomposed.
We are the people that have been sitting around the park area. This is where we have been playing ball every day. There was a student that was playing around that place, and one of them picked a bone and was chasing the other colleague. And some man was passing by and he saw the bone and he asked the student, where did you find the bone? He said that he found it inside the bush. So, and they went inside to check, and it was a dead human being there.
About 18 suspects have been arrested in connection with what is suspected to be ritual killings in the Wa town within the past 11 months. City News sources at the Upper West Regional Police Command indicate that investigations so far have not linked any of the suspects to the killings. Some of the suspects have been released on medical grounds, while others are still in custody pending further investigations. Residents, however, say the killings in the Wa town are becoming one too many and must be halted by the police.
Right now, I'm very confused about the situation. So I'm urging the police because they are trying their best, because there is a police just by the junction. And this thing is happening, so we don't know what to say. So, but we are urging all the residents of this community to put much effort to keep eye on all the corners of the area. So that will be a very good, that will help the area.
Timpana Swana when Abuana Dana Muniaga, Capolesi was so you will buy you Swante Adiate, Tibi my Yare Jia, Jisuari Benabia Yinging, Muna Benabia Yinging, Kablama Itupusani, Kinam Bungareji, Chimantia Biela, Adum Dana when a Yaswana when I couldn't police Anusoja Quaswante, Adiate.
To yell and to send a bar here, Chanam Baba. To number one, I'm going to Yagaja, Kandana, I'm going to Baha Yella Kuti. Jina ngwana nga yela ngatinda wonga pusani bon kon la ala bi wang tadana ngwana kete hena anan dune de meja pe gagana de menembera labla ba jaay te hena kare yela ko bantuang abala akuti.
Both teachers and pupils of the St. Aidan Anglican Basic School declined to speak on the incident. Attempts to get comments from the police were unsuccessful at the time of filing this report.
The identity of a suspected body buried at the St. Aidan Anglican Junior High School is yet to be identified by the police, but residents in Wa are calling on the police to swift up investigations to unravel the mystery behind the killings in the town. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Latif Mahama. Wa.
And now to our headline story. The Secretary to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral, Reverend Victor Kusibwateng, has described allegations made against him by the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, as a twisted narration of events to pursue a malicious political agenda. In a statement, the founder and general overseer of Power Chapel Worldwide said he will avail himself to investigations by the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, after which he will seek redress. Mr. Okudzeto-Ablakwa on Monday, January 16, petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice charge to probe the 2.6 million Ghana cedis paid to JNS Talent, a company owned by the Secretary of the National Cathedral Board, Victor Kusibwateng, and a different identity. The lawmaker on Monday, January 16, further alleged that JNS Talent is owned by one Kwabna Dujemfi. According to him, documents in his possession reveal that Mr. Kwabna Dujemfi is the same as Reverend Victor Kusibwateng, who still serves on the National Cathedral Board as an Executive Council member and director. Now in some other news, the Tamale Circuit Court has granted bail to the 8 persons that were arrested on Monday in connection with disturbances that led to the burning and destruction of houses belonging to some non-indigents in Buipe. Now, the 8 were sent to Tamale by the Savannah Regional Police Command after some youth in Damango besieged the police station to demand their release. Citi News' Savannah Regional Correspondent Richard Fogo has more.
The 8 persons were arrested in Buipe on Monday after some youth of the town burnt and pulled down houses belonging to some non-indigents at Mande, a suburb of the town. The youth were protesting an alleged enskinment of a non-indigent as a chief by the paramount chief of the Buipe traditional area. One person was shot on Monday by the Damango police as they fired warning shots to disperse youth who had besieged the police station to demand the release of the arrested persons who had been brought there. The youth later massed up at the palace of the Yebunwura, but were dispersed by the military. The 8 were granted bail on Tuesday by the Tamale Circuit Court to reappear on 2nd February 2023. A driver who was arrested by the police in Damango for allegedly transporting protesters to the police station on Monday has also been granted bail. Though there is relative calm in the area, reports of the intention of the police to arrest the PRO of the Gonjaland Youth Association is keeping the youth on the edge.
The fact is, we are peace-loving youth and want to calm down things. We have asked all the youth members to exercise patience so that we'll see how we can bring back the 8 people they arrested. But it's like they want to escalate issues by arresting more people, like our PRO. So we are of the view that we are pleading with all the politicians that are behind it.
The Tamale Circuit Court has granted bail to the 8 persons that were arrested in Buipe yesterday in connection with disturbances that led to the burning and destruction of houses belonging to non-indigents who live in the town. The driver, who was arrested for allegedly transporting protesters to the Damango police station yesterday to demand the release of the arrested persons, has also been granted bail by the Damango police. This is a welcoming development by the youth of the Savannah region led by the Gonjaland Youth Association, who has been demanding the release of the arrested persons. A lot more, however, has to be done by authorities to completely bring the impasse under control, as the 8 are expected back in court on 2nd February this year. For Citi News, I am Richard Fogo, Damango.
Now from the Savannah region, let's now move to the Ashanti region, where police officers and their families occupying accommodation facilities at Apromase have been relocated to a temporary shelter after fire razed down their apartments. A 35-year-old police officer attached to the anti-robbery unit, his wife and his child died in the incident, which also damaged properties. The Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, who visited the scene on Monday, said the administration was carrying out the evacuation to pave way for an assessment of the facility. Citi News' regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani returned to the area and reports.
Memories of the tragic death of police officer, his wife and a child remain fresh on the minds of family members, close relatives and friends, as well as victims of this fire incident. The police administration has evacuated police officers with their families who lived in these apartments behind me to a location before a permanent shelter can be found for them. We have also seen police officers guarding these apartments. The Inspector General of Police visiting here on Monday promised to liaise with the fire service to assess the building so that police officers can be safe when they return to stay here. A team of clinical psychologists has also come here to counsel the victims of the fire incident. They have been speaking to them and giving them encouraging words to ensure they forget the past and move forward. But the news about the death of the police officer remains topical in this community and parts of the Ashanti region. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Apromase, Ashanti region.
Some continuing students of the University of Ghana who have been affected by the new accommodation directive on Monday night had to seek shelter on the corridors of the hall, with others squatting with friends. The students were prevented from entering their hall of residence following a directive by the management of the school seeking to reassign male continuing students of Commonwealth and Mensa Saba halls to other halls of residence. During a visit by Citi News' Kweku Ejama Ansa to the Commonwealth Hall, after 9 p.m. on Monday, some of the stranded students were captured lying on the floor close to the entrance of the hall.
It's almost 10 p.m. and everyone on the University of Ghana campus is retiring from the day's activities. It's been 5 days since the new accommodation directive took effect, and that has left some students stranded. My visit to the Commonwealth Hall on Monday night revealed disturbing experiences some affected students are faced with.
This is one of the embattled halls where management of the institution has said that its continuing students would have to seek other accommodation at other places. Well, unfortunately, this has led to a struggle for some of these affected persons here. And as you can just see on the left side here, not too far away from the presence of the hall, people have laid down some mats, and this is where they say that they are going to pass the night.
For some who have traveled from far, seeking accommodation at the reassigned halls, which includes the Elizabeth C and G. Nelson halls, is not cost effective. I chanced on one of the affected students who had traveled over 400 kilometers from Seshi Draboso to Accra. He tells me that for the past 3 days, he has not had any decent place of accommodation after he was turned away by the school security manning the Commonwealth Hall. He spoke to me on condition of anonymity.
On a Thursday night, we didn't get anywhere to sleep, to be honest. So we entered into Legon Hall, and then we went to one room. There were people not there, so we told, it was just one person. So we just told them we want to spend the night here, and then we'll see what to do from tomorrow onwards. So we slept there, and then the next day woke up and we left. Friday night, we didn't get a place to sleep. We were planning to come and sleep at Barritas, but it didn't work out because they changed us, the security men. So we ran through the bush and we went to the Catholic church, the washroom over there. We went there and we were sitting in the washroom, we were talking, trying to know where we sleep. We didn't get anywhere, so we slept in the washroom, in the toilet. Yes, we slept there. Yes, we slept in the washroom. We were sitting on the toilet. It wasn't working out, so we slept on the floor. Yeah, so woke up around 5 to 5:30, and then we left.
He's not the only student bearing the brunt of the directive. Fred, who had embarked on a 4-hour journey from Kumasi to continue his schooling at the University of Ghana on Monday, is facing a similar challenge. The deep-rooted Commonwealth Hall member is currently confused as to what next step to take.
Yeah, so I came here in the morning around 9:15 in the name of getting my place to sleep, and as it stands now, I'm not still being allowed into the hall, so you can see my luggage is around me. I'm outside still waiting for anything to happen.
But so far, have you tried going in, and what did they tell you?
Yes, since morning we tried entering the hall, and they told us that they are not allowing any continuing students. The school has begun. Today lectures were supposed to go on. I had class today, but I had to skip the class because I was not prepared enough to go to class and do all that stuff.
It's getting darker out here, and for him, he cannot join his fellow colleagues who have turned the front of the hall into their abode.
I can't go back to Kumasi again, so I'm trying. Maybe if I don't get if I'm not being permitted to go into the hall, I might try a friend or call anybody available if by chance and I get somewhere to sleep, I do so. But if I don't, I think I might still just be watching over the whole year. I'll just watch them till daybreak.
After a long wait with no sight of good news, my cameras spotted another continuing student who just arrived in anticipation of having to rest and prepare for lectures the next day. He was also disappointed.
I tried and I nearly got a slap, so I am really scared to even go closer again because my life is at risk right now. I'm about completing level 400 students. I can't risk this AJT. We call them AJT, so I have to be very careful. I don't understand what's going on because my parents can't pay that 4,000 I'm going to pay. Yes, yeah, it has been my home and I really enjoy this, so that's why I'm here.
Would you say it's unfair for people like yourself?
It's so unfair. Where I'm coming from, so right now I'm having my staff, I don't know where to put them. It's so unfair. It's very unfair.
At the time of filing this report, there was heavy security presence at the entrance of the Commonwealth Hall to prevent continuing students from entering the hall. Prior to the reopening of school, management of the University of Ghana announced new directives which are aimed at remedying the spate of clashes recorded on campus.
So the directive by the University of Ghana will continue. It still holds, and that is that if you're a continuing student who used to be at the Commonwealth or the Mempeasem halls, you would have to find yourself an alternative place to lay your head. Well, if you do not want to do that, then it means that you would have to be left stranded, and that has been the situation of some of these students who say that they lack the funds to be able to go to the new halls they have been reassigned to. Reporting for Citi News from the University of Ghana, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.
Now, the chief of Mempeasem, a suburb of East Legon in Accra, is pushing back as the Lands Commission begins operations to reclaim encroached government lands. Now, Ni Togbo Ampao, who was reacting to the demolition of a property owned by Ideal College, accused the commission of disrespecting the orders of the High Court. My colleague Charles Osu Kumi was a man on the grounds, and Charles has been trying to gather a lot more information, and he is bringing us more. Charles, what else do you have for us?
If you recall, somewhere last year, there was a disturbing situation at Ideal College, the Legon branch of Ideal College here in Accra, where students of the school clashed with police officers when some of the police officers and other people had come to a piece of land supposedly belonging to the school to demolish an assembly hall project, and this incident resulted in injuries to several of the students. This morning, we got wind of a similar situation brewing here. On arrival, we were told that yes, there were police officers here armed, and they have come to finish off what was started last year. They have destroyed all that is left of this assembly hall project. We'll try and get some eyewitness account of the situation.
Na muhu police fono timu police fono pampo mi fida wo ba beji ekwan na muko school wana muko fa me director there on ba hwede nda so police fono why then what the machine aba ha ta na directors aba assembly nti onem na onem be to be na the machine no wa start wa ha no so mama won say ade no na issue no court e wan police no kol oso mfio na police ni oboso na atelim no fair the other guys in our bed oba jacking kasa na what them call the police no offer kolon for handcuff ombogu nsa the other handcuff gu nsa no na me direct phone na me come headmaster ti e na what started the wedding we bubu ahade nyina ti ona me fi o mko ejuma.
Now, traditional authorities are usually at the center of most land disputes in the country. And this morning, the chief of Mempeasem of the Ni Togbo Ampao family, supposedly the original owners of this piece of land, has been reacting to events of this morning.
I want to know whether the law is not working. If the law is not working and people must take the law into their own hands and do whatever they like. Ghana is a lawless, it's a law country, so we don't want things to go lawless. And the way things are going, I've called a petition to the president already on these issues on that lands. The what do you call it? at the presidency, the chief of staff. I've petitioned them, and I'm telling them that all what is going on at the moment, if they don't put their foot down, there will be chaos one day. And I don't want that to happen. That is the reason why I went to the court, because they came in and destroyed so many buildings about a year ago now. That's why I went to the court. And where profits, I don't know what has happened, and they are there destroying all what they are destroying over there. That land, before I came to the throne, it has been sold to him so many years ago, about 15 to 20 years ago. And the school there is also helping the community over here.
The Lands Commission had earlier served public notice of recovering government lands. In a statement signed by the Executive Secretary, the Lands Commission announced a demolition exercise in areas including Mempeasem, but Need Togbo Ampel Weku says the parcel of land in dispute does not belong to the government.
Let me tell you something. When this whole scenario started, I have been to the Land Commission. I've sat down with the chairman, the secretary. We've sat on the round table. We talk. And I told them that the place that they wanted to claim is a family land. So I'm appealing to the president and the officials of Land Commission that they should stop what they are doing. They have allocated the land. The land doesn't belong to them. The land belongs to Sanshi family. My predecessors were the people who acquired this land. As such, after acquiring this land, our name there is at what do you call it? Land Commission. They know. And they are claiming that portion of that place is what? What do you call it? Government land. What is government land? If I have given a land to the government, and the government works on the land, he is no more interested in what he's doing, it gives the land back to the owners. And 2008, President Kufuor gave the land back to the owners. That is we, the Sanshi family.
Meanwhile, the management of Ideal College, whose assembly hall project was pulled down, declined commentary when Citi News contacted them.
You're still live on the Citi Newsroom. I'm Frema Adunyame. Still to come. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says he's optimistic the government's decision to use the country's gold reserve to buy fuel for domestic use will help reduce pressure on the forex. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay.
Ogwaman, Yenzinyo, Imberna Subiu, Osaberma Royal Awards, Ogwaman Hin Osaberma Kwisata II, Yunahimfu, Boban Krankru Nijumukua, Wabo Mozen Wogwaman Monabaldo. Various categories and honorees will be bestowed to deserving individuals and businesses. Date, Saturday, 21st January 2023. Time, 11 a.m. Ogwaiminti Mazahinthi, Bezudu Papa, Omambapa, Yenina Yenshia Noya Humka, O Sunday, Oponwa, Chidafi, Osaberma Royal Awards is powered by Ridge Royal Hotel. For sponsorship details, call 059-6050-600. Osaberma Royal Awards. Our people, our resources, our business. Thank you, Ogwa.
Every child is so unique. You like no other. Outstanding in every way. It's me like no other. So anytime you walk and play, you like no other. You are special like Indomie. It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
has their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook.
Thanks for staying and our sincere apology for the break in transmission. Now moving on, business owners have decried the increase in water and electricity tariffs as announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC. The end-user tariff for electricity has been increased by 29.96%, with that of water also seen an upward adjustment of 8.3%. In view of this, the business owners say the increment is ill-timed amidst the current economic challenges. Citi News' Kennedy Chumesi has more in the following report and read by Akusia Ochre.
The last utility tariff increment was in August 2022, as announced by the Public Utilities Commission, PURC. Water and electricity tariffs were increased by 27.15% and 21.55% respectively. However, the Commission on January 16 announced another increment following the conclusion of its regulatory processes for quarterly adjustments in 2023. For businesses, the increment will further worsen their conditions of living and also destabilize their businesses. Magdalene Aite used to operate a laundry shop with her husband. She says due to the high cost of running the business, her husband has been forced to quit. She added that the current increments in tariffs will gradually collapse her business.
Emma sisi ejuma na nkasa entaima. Na afi ejuma no ba electricity water nkasa ni bua edin. Na electricity nso bua ebe edin. And the Niaman want to mean farmer. If saving cry one the bar, say one baby fa cry is a problem. Well, and so no obedient, you have to eat. So by all means, you have to be at least managing some small things. Na minimi krumpo na and Susan and Yama ban was your farming. Into no or village quiet farming. Into mina me manage wake a crack. Into a bit too light is so dear. And yeah. Nature said you man be good no. Ye to water, electricity, and son of a quack samna, who got to samna, beto starch, beto parazone. Ninya men is from the same money. Now ubano to sunswa, one mubeka sini boedi.
The increase, which is expected to take effect on February 1, will see an increment in electricity by 29.96% and water by 8.3%. The Commission says the increment was necessitated by an unfavorable exchange rate, the rising cost of gas for electricity generation, and chemicals for water treatment. Moses Obama runs a printing press at Newtown in Accra. He tells Citi News he will be forced to share the burden with his customers.
With the increment, I think the companies will be folding down because look at the electricity that we buy to run the machines and stuff, and the increment of the materials to the papers, it makes the printing very expensive, you understand? For example, look at the stationaries now that we are buying in the market. Because of the increment of the paper and the tariff and other stuff, you can't even buy the books at the market now. It is very expensive. Tariffs are high, the materials are high. I have to send the cost back to the consumer, right? Without that, I can't survive the business. The business can't survive. So we have to, bear the cost to the consumer.
For the Association of Ghana Industries, governments should be measured with the increments taking into consideration the current economic challenges.
So we are just asking government to delay the implementation of the increments of the utility tariffs to such a time that the economy is a little bit more stable and that the exchange rate will be stable and also that the inflation rate will be much more less so that we can be able to deal with another increment, of course. But as it is now, it is really, really difficult to expect our folks in the industrial community to be prepared to deal with a more higher increment in cost of utility.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is optimistic the government's decision to use the country's gold reserve to buy fuel for domestic use will help reduce pressure on the forex. This conversation took center stage when concerns were rife over the spike in the price of fuel in the country. Michael Ogbudu has the rest of the story.
of fuel has over the last year seen a sporadic increase after starting 2022 at about 6 cedis 50 pesos per litre, but ended the year at more than double the price. A rise in the price of the commodity on the world markets and challenges with forex, among others, have been cited as the contributing factors. The government, as part of its intervention to improve the situation, proposed the gold for oil policy.
We have always got pressure on finding US dollars to buy oil. Why don't we rather reach an agreement to exchange our gold for oil and then sell the oil in cedis, then use the cedis to buy more gold, use that gold to pay for oil, sell the oil in cedis, and then you don't need to look for scarce foreign exchange to buy oil, which always leads to a depreciation in the currency. So with this idea, we said, let's do something that the textbooks don't teach you. Let's do something that is out of the box. And this is why we said gold for oil. And we quickly looked at this and we negotiated with the suppliers of oil, who were very, very excited and happy to receive gold in payment.
Ghana recently took delivery of its first consignment of about 40,000 metric tons. Speaking at this year's New Year School of the University of Ghana, Dr. Baumia said the gold for oil deal is the best for the country.
Thankfully, yesterday, I think yesterday was Monday, right? Yes, yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, Ghana took its first delivery of oil under the Gold for Oil program. This is our test cargo. This is the cargo to test the framework, to see if everything that has been put in place will work. And by the grace of God, it's clear that the framework will work. And if that should happen, we are going to save a lot of foreign exchange and reduce the pressure on our currency.
Meanwhile, speaking at the same event, the 74th Annual New Year School Conference of the University of Ghana, on the theme Positioning the African Market for Sustainable Economic Development through AFTA, Vice-Chancellor of the University, Nana Abba Apia Amfo, stressed that it was important for Ghana to take the leading role under the agreement.
Having had the opportunity to host the AFTA Secretariat in Accra, Ghana should take the lead in stimulating dialogue aimed at repositioning its financial, industrial, and educational sectors, as well as technological development and security apparatus to deal with emerging issues in the regional trade area. This year's New Year School and Conference offers a unique platform to initiate such needed discussions.
Secretary General of the AFTA Secretariat, Wankele Mene, also drummed home the need to actively promote intra-African trade in view of the current global economic challenges.
The severe impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict on African countries is evidence to the harmful implications of the existing global and multilateral structure of trade as it impacts on it. It is therefore important that for Africa to promote intra-continental trade, to reduce its vulnerability to external shocks and improve trade and economic performance, that the AFCFTA has to be the driver of that particular objective.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV, still to come. Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Brima, says plans are underway to drag the government before the ECOWAS court in order to seek respite for the family of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale. We'll bring you the details shortly. Don't go away.
Every child is so unique. You like no other. Outstanding in every way. It's me like no other. So anytime you walk and play, you like no other. You are special like Indomie. It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie Beef Flavor. Buy now.
This effort is FDA approved. Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
You're welcome back. The Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Vrima, says plans are underway to drag the government before the ECOWAS court in order to seek respite for the family of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale. Now, according to the foundation, it is compelled to resort to the ECOWAS court due to the feet-dragging approach by state agencies clothed with authority to investigate and bring the perpetrators to justice. As today marks the 4th year anniversary of the unfortunate incident, Fred Duho has been to Medina to find out how the family is coping.
The shops you see behind me may look so fresh, like newly painted buildings. But that was not the case some 4 years ago. In 2019, January 16, Ahmed Hussein Suale was murdered in cold blood on these particular streets. And he drove his car straight into these stores you see behind me, and this particular place became a crime scene. But 4 years down the lane, how are the families and relatives actually coping with the situation in this area? According to them, they meet on a WhatsApp platform basically to remember and share some fond memories of the investigative journalist that was killed in cold blood. It's been 4 years of feet dragging, as some stakeholders in the media landscape would describe it. There has been no progress as far as investigation into what really led to the killing of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale. Let's now have the opportunity to speak to the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Mr. Suleiman Vrima, here in his office, probably to share some perspective on what he makes of the delay in investigations.
We've had persons in different levels of government comment on the matter and give some assurances. And then we had the president himself on a number of occasions also making similar promises. When the president spoke it gave us some assurance that, well, if this is coming from the president himself, then maybe a decision has been made to take the matter seriously. But it has turned out to be that the president also just spoke, just as other people spoke. Initially, we thought that something was going to be done. And so I don't have any doubt about the capacity, the intelligence, the commitment, the professionalism of the police if they decide to work. But in this particular case, I think that they've just decided they are not going to act. And what can we as an NGO do to compel them to work? At this stage, the only available...
And that's how we wrap up. This has been the Citi Newsroom. Visit our website, citinewsroom.com, for more news updates. Subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363.